Hello Libra, and welcome to your June reading. So, I've meditated and pulled out the first layer of cards like usual, and what I've got is in the underlying energy, the past. I've got the Princess of Wands, followed by the Seven of Swords. And here we have the Four of Swords and the Knight of Cups. There we go. So what that means, it's that either it happened to you in the past, or if we're talking about the underlying energy, we're talking about what energies are explaining what you're living now, the lesson you're living now, or the growth you're living now, or and it's a communication, about, like a project or something like that, that turned out to be not so up to the clear. Because I see you healing with the Four of Swords after, that means that Seven of Swords, there were things happening in the back that kind of left you powerless and wasn't able to pull through. That project did not go through. It was like an illusion. And so you're healing after that about the dynamic of offering. The dynamic of offering, it can be offering your heart, it can be offering your craft, offering that gesture of pulling our heart out there and wanting to share it. So we do that in relationships, we do that in our work, in our dynamics with others or whatever. But that's an attitude. The attitude of going on that quest to wanting to offer what we have inside, our emotions. So you're healing on that because of that project or that communication. Maybe you've heard something that you found out was really crooked, but you needed to have a healing about it. And this is like healing the disappointments with the sword of truth, with the understanding that can be guided through your spirituality by retracting, resting, and trying to understand. In the now, you get that understanding because I have the Ace of Truth. It's like if you see clearly about the dynamic and what happened. After that, I have the Six of Pentacles. That's the notion of giving and receiving, of having so much that we can give the overflow, not give only what we have and then be left out with nothing, be left out like these guys, the people that need after. There's a balance in giving and receiving, and also giving to people that actually are going to do something with it. The art of giving. And after that I have the Eight of Swords. So there's like this understanding that you see a balancing or a dynamic within yourself or around you, which is, by the way, the same thing, because our reality is a reflection of who we are inside, our beliefs, our weaknesses, or things like that. And that puts you in a stuck mental situation where it's like if you grasp it, you understand it, but you're kind of stuck, not knowing what to do with it. The outcome, I have the Four of Cups. So that tells me that you're stuck because you only look at what you know. Because maybe this situation had happened, it's a repeating cycle. It happened often for you to have had mirrored things to you. I say mirrored things to you because I have the Seven of Cups here. So you don't look at what maybe the universe wants, or believe that the universe wants to offer something that you have never tasted before, you have never lived before. But right now it's like if you're not willing to look at it, but not right now, in the future. Then I have the King of Wands and the Four of Wands. Very fiery here. So maybe you're dealing with the King of Wands, with somebody of the fire signs, Aries, Sagittarius, and Leo, sorry. But we're talking about your stability, your home dynamic, what makes you strong and solid. So this character can be coming from outside of you, in the sense that maybe I think this persona archetype wants to offer you something. Or maybe it's somebody that is in your home and in your solidity. But the King of Wands goes and gets what he wants and what he wants to create. After that, I got the Ace of Wands. So that's why I think that maybe this character is going to offer you something. So you're going again, see the Princess of Wands, then again you go through a little cycle here, trying to understand why people can betray or mirror opportunities. You start working, and then finally it doesn't end up to nothing because there was crookery around it. Then you're offered another wand here, and it is a wish fulfilled. It is something you really want. Here I have the King of Cups. So maybe a water sign. And I have the Lovers. So we're talking about a choice. It is, you're going to have to treat that new opportunity that is going to come maybe at the end of June or in July, because we're talking about the future and time doesn't really exist. It can be next week. You're going to have to deal with that new project in a whole different way, because the Lovers is a choice, but it's an attitude choice. If you don't want to repeat the same thing, because you see here the fruits, the woman, the female, we all have male and female. This is one person, and her fruits, the tree is blooming. It's full of fruits. The trees, the flames here of spirit, all lit up, contrary to the devil. She looks at the angel. They look at each other. And usually the man looks at the woman, because this is receptive and this is acting in the world, guided by the spirit. So that's when we make decisions that are to elevate us, when we are guided by the spirit, not guided by our lower ego that you would have in the devil card, when you see the woman looking like away, not looking at spirituality, and the man looking at the woman. So the results are mediocre and restraining. And here you have the mountain of elevation in the back. So you're gonna have to treat this new opportunity completely differently. We're gonna clarify some cards here. I call upon spirit, I call upon my guides, I call upon the light. Help me clarify this reading for Libras for the month of June. Okay. Talk to me about the Seven of Swords. What happened there in the past for Libras? Okay, so we're talking about a work situation, about the way, the interaction between people. When there's an offer, when there's a contract between people, every part has to do their share, brings to the table for a project to build up, to be successful. And here, it's like if you were random, powerless, like either you weren't listened to, you weren't respected, what you brought to the table wasn't taken. So, and that's what hurt you to your heart, because that's what you bring to when we collaborate with people here. 3 people. If it can be also in a dynamic of friends, or any dynamics where you weren't listened to. What did they understand? Ace of Swords. What is that? Show me the Ace of Swords. Here we have the 9 of Swords. So this is a situation that really got you worried, pulled out your old demons. You're analyzing like hell, which can be very easy for Libras. Like, you know, always waiting. It could have affected your home even. But you're seeing clearly in it, because 9 plus 1 is 10. It's that end of a cycle there. Maybe that put you in trouble. Here, balance. 10 of Cups. I was looking at the 6 of Pentacles, asking what it is. But by understanding that, you understand, because 10s are like a culmination. So you're rebalancing, understanding the giving and receiving, where you're putting your energy so that it is fruitful. It's like you wouldn't give, if we're talking about money, you wouldn't give money to somebody that you know that would just put it in his sock under the bed and not do anything with it. What good would that be? So you would give it to somebody that would actually make something to help themselves and build. So it's the art of giving. Or you wouldn't offer to somebody that doesn't even recognize you. So it's all in the way that you're offering yourself here, that you're trying to understand, and the way you were doing before was just bringing you to a limit of happiness. Because the level of the 10 of Cups we're living is equivalent to our level of consciousness. So when we do a certain thing, a certain way of doing things, the level of happiness that we're going to get is going to be equal. If that way we're doing things is illuminated, is conscious, the pleasure we're going to retract from it is going to be that much higher. So that's why every time we go through a cycle of cups, it's not that we attain the ultimate happiness every time. We will attain to the cycle that we are, entering a new cycle of a new consciousness, and then arriving to a new level every time. So this is closing up a way that you, or a limit that you were able to taste the fruits of life in a way of emotions, by understanding the give and take. 8 of Swords. We're talking about that. 8 of Swords. What is blocking them? Either you're blocked or you're unblocking yourself. But with the 4 of Cups after, Three of Cups. Okay, so there's a little lesson here. The 3 of Cups is the celebration of life. It's the structure and emotion, because 3 is the first structure. You have like the idea, and then the will to do it. 2 and 3 you create within a structure, because if you don't have any structures, you cannot create anything. It would be so. So with the cups, we're talking about construction, celebration, but construction of emotion that is rising. They are celebrating. So ask yourself, how do you celebrate life? because it's a bit of the same thing, understanding the level of happiness you've been able to gain in this until now in this life, and how you can block yourself from celebrating the construction of your capacity to celebrate your emotion. Then we have the Four of Cups. Okay, so now you understand it. There's an understanding here. So here you see how you weren't letting yourself feel another level of emotion. Now you are letting yourself, sorry, I'm just gonna stop that. You are going to let yourself live a new step of emotion. Constructing, destucking yourself from this level, starting to construct another level of emotions, because you're going to understand it successfully. My God, they're hard-headed. How can I stop that? I don't know how to stop that. I'm sorry. I hope it doesn't bother you. Me, it doesn't cut my flow anyway. See how successful you are because pages are a new understanding. He wants to learn, he wants to understand, and he got the Ace of Swords here, and now he's playing with it. Now he's carrying it and trying it, understanding successfully maybe what you've been doing before. So it's really about changing the quality of emotions you're going to live in the future by understanding a pattern that you had of how you offered your heart. You're going to unstuck yourself from this is always happening to me and things like that. You know, that's the summum of happiness I can have. There's always a little something behind it. I never live it fully to a new understanding. It has to do with how you offer yourself out there and how your capacity to receive also. Because sometimes we block ourselves from receiving for XY reasons. Because we're afraid we're going to have to give even more, or we don't think we deserve it, or whatever it is in your psyche, you will know. But there's an understanding of that. And then I have that new, well, we have here the, oh, I'm going to ask, who's that King of Wands? Who's that King of Wands? Because by opening up yourself to receiving more, for sure the universe is going, because you're making a space to receive more, so the universe is going to fill it right away. There's no empty space. There's always something. So as soon as you understand and you open your mind to raise to a new level of happiness, the universe is going to give you the opportunity to feel it. Who's that King of Wands for Libras? Who's that King of Wands for Libras? That King of Wands for Libra Spirit. Okay, I was afraid you weren't going to talk about it, but they're giving me the Lovers again. So he is offering you a choice, giving you an opportunity to ask you to make that choice, but with your face looking at the divine and manifesting to a higher level. There's that ascension mountain here. It's the repeat of the lovers here. And it is going to be something that is going to fulfill you emotionally. You know? Feeling that new emotional fulfillment, satisfaction. He's tasted, let's say before you only were able to taste these amount of cups, now you're going to be able to taste this amount of cups. And that is why you're able to feel like this man, because you are at another level now. And this opportunity is going to bring you that. I wonder what it is. Let's ask. Let's ask. What is that Ace of Wands, Spirit? What is that Ace of Wands? I want to show. What is it about? Oof. Whatever it is going to level you up from the way you were offering your heart before, because you have the King of Cups. Before you were with the Knight of Cups. Now you're with the King of Cups. Okay, that's a lot. Oh, not so bad. Okay, I thought it was more than that. All right, so there we go. What is that opportunity? They're giving me that Seven of Swords again. Giving me the wish fulfilled again. But there's the Queen of Swords. She understands. She will not let anything pass that is lower than what is good for her. She sees clearly through bullshit. Queen of Swords went through all the swords. She sees that coming a mile away. And that is why she's much superior than this energy. She went through it, she has the wisdom from it, and she sees it coming. And after that you have the Emperor. So that is taking control of what is coming towards you and what is offered to you, and how to truly see it like what is given to me, and the quality that is given to me, and the quality that I will give back. Some things are not worth putting energy in, and some things are. And this discernment that you have here is going to help you take complete control of your life. You're going to make a choice. You're going to be sound emotionally here. You're leveling up in how to take that new project that is being offered to you. It's going to ask you to receive it with a new wisdom, accepting also that you can live something better, because it doesn't say per se with all these cards. Personally, I don't think that it's like if this would be in reverse, with having the Queen of Swords and the Wish card and the Emperor. They are much stronger than this one in the sense that they've overcome this. Because if we have a belief that this is always what's happening, this is what we are creating. Since you understand here how the dynamic that has been happening in your life, and you're deciding to open your mind to living something better, accepting something better here, and you understand it successfully, and you're going to make your choices with thinking in the Lovers cards there, by elevating yourself, looking at the spiritual instead of maybe looking just at the here and now, and the reality you've always lived. You're overcoming this energy. And that is what they are saying. And with the Emperor here, it's the masculine side. It's how you're going out there, how you're managing your life. So you are going to have, because you see here the Five of Pentacles, maybe that is something like there, you felt left out in the cold, people not responding to what you were offering, or the offer being made not pulling through, was just an illusion or something like that. There's something you understand in your worrying. You're finishing a cycle there to the limit of your emotions. Do you want to give final advice for Libra? So in the month of June, you are going to get a offer. First, maybe you're gonna understand an offer that didn't work, something you wanted that did not work. You're gonna worry about it, you're gonna try and understand it, and you're gonna have clarity, but clarity on the dynamic of giving and receiving, and how that was limiting your capacity of emotional fulfillment. And you're gonna start building, you're gonna unstuck yourself from that level. You're gonna understand it victoriously, and then the universe is gonna give you another opportunity. And so it's gonna be for you to go through it inside and out in a different attitude. You have a general advice for Libra for the month of June, Spirit? Okay, so we have the King of Wands again. So how do you, either that King of Wands here, but also how do you go out there to get what you want? And we have the Eight of Wands. So this is when we've attained a certain level and we have our willpower and we are ready to defend it. So that means against the naysayers or whatever. So that means that once you get that understanding, you will not let yourself go down the hill from before to back to before. So you're going to defend your value or what you deserve or what you want to live starting from now, because you went through this. And that is the last advice from Spirit. So on this, I am going to wish you a beautiful month of June already. Just absorb the summer because it doesn't last long. And I'm back to doing private readings. So I'm going to thank you for all your shares and comments and likes. It helps the channel. And I'll see you in the month of July. Bye-bye. Namaste.